Beginning ODO podcasting.
Just kidding.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the ODO podcast, where normal is not my specialty. I am your host, as always, I don't even know today, Adam Higgins, the Odd Dad Out. You can find me at oddadoutpodcast.com and, of course, at Odd Dad Out on all your favorite social media places. And this is the show where I ramble and rant and tell weird dad stories and make fun of weird shit in the news and tell you about podcasts that I think you should check out because sharing is caring and I like sharing things. What can I say? Just don't touch my coffee. Anyway, how are you doing? I hope you survived April Fools without any major catastrophes, other than getting to listen to a different show over here for once, because I'm sure you get tired of listening to my voice all the time. I'm sure my wife does. Anyway, being as I've already dropped something for you this week, I'm going to try and keep it relatively short, in part because I already did that, like I said, and in part because it's just been a complicated week, lots of stuff going on, and I'm tired, and I've just got a lot of stuff going on, so I've got my divided attention and stuff like that, so I haven't had a lot of time to prep, really. And so I wanted, because of the whole, the guest of the month thing. Now, I love doing the guests. I want to have more guests. But the thing about it is that if you haven't caught on yet, when I'm telling stories, when I'm talking about what's going on, and this whole initial first part of the show, that is very much recent memory stuff for the most part. It is, here's what happened to me this week. With the big radio voice and all of that too. No, but it's very much a case of here's what I was just doing. Here's what's just going on and fresh in my mind to tell. And because I don't write shit down, I should. I carry a notepad around, believe it or not. I actually always have a pen and a notepad with me. Does me not a damn bit of good. But I'll have, like, stuff will happen. But then when I do the guest episodes, it's hard for me to jump back and say, well, here, this just happened in that other week that I, wasn't talking about myself. And so I end up with, like, right now, where I'm like, well, yeah, I could talk. There's stuff that happened in that time period that I want to talk about, but it feels like, I don't know, because it's not the most recent thing that happened to me. I feel like it's weird to talk about stuff. Not like I'm not talking about stuff, more of the telling a story that it isn't recent, which is weird because I could seriously be talking about my childhood here and it wouldn't matter. I don't think you actually care whether something I'm talking about happened to me on Thursday or if it happened to me when I was 9. Either way, you're probably tuning me out right now. Still there? Hey, cool, you're awesome. Anyway, one thing that did happen in the in-between time in the last couple of weeks was my son's birthday. There's, which one? Number 2. Son number 2, our little monster, just turned 7. And it means 2 things. 1, well, he's 7 now. 2, if you caught around and I realized that I was doing the show at the time, but since I learned to cook when I was 7, I've basically instituted that rule for the boys that when they turn 7, I will start to teach them how to cook. And it's small stuff. It's helping out with mac and cheese. It's helping out, they learn basics. They learn grilled cheese. They learn, because up to this point, I don't let them do those things just for the sake of, okay, you're 7, you're mature enough to handle a griddle. You can flip a sandwich with a spatula. And so I start letting them do stuff like that. And Charlie is making mac and cheese by himself a lot of the time now. Stuff like that. I mean, it's boxed mac and cheese. He's not making scratch mac and cheese like I do. He's doing boxed mac and cheese on nights when I'm not home, like on weekends when I'm out of town or whatever. But that's kind of it. Is when they're 7, they start getting the cooking lessons. So Damien started getting the cooking lessons, and also it's one of and not necessarily because he turned 7, but it was just one of those. It was something nice to do, and he'd asked, "Hey, could we do this?" And he's been asking since his last birthday. We decided we're going to go bowling, and there's like the big multi-entertainment center out here, Uptown Alley, where it's bowling and laser tag and an arcade, and there's a really nice restaurant inside. But all of this stuff, and so we occasionally will go there and go bowling. And so he wanted to go bowling for his birthday, so we went bowling, and it was fun and all. And at this point, last time we went bowling, the 2 little boys, I mean, Sam was basically immobile. He couldn't do much but sit there and fuss because it was loud. And Bug was just barely able. It was like he would have to use the little guide track, and we would actually have to carry the ball over there for him to push it down the little track. He would kind of like pretend to hold it, but we were basically having to carry the ball over to the track so he could push it. And, that was the last time we went bowling. It was probably like 2 years ago. But this time, everybody got to bowl. And yeah, the 2 little boys were still using the little guide roller thing, and all of the boys had the bumpers up because at the end of the day, we suck at bowling. It was so bad. Oddly enough, Bug, he was using the guide thing. He was the first one to get a strike for one, and he was literally just letting it roll off the track and let it do its thing. But he actually won the first round, like the first round of bowling we did. He won. He beat everybody with a high score of 82 points. Oh, God, we suck. It was bad. But it's fun. And we have no problem really generally sucking like horribly at bowling. Because it was fun. And the boys were having a blast. And, they were, at the end, we were like, man, we should have probably, because my wife and I we didn't have bumpers. But we had the bumpers up for all of the little boys. And Sam actually got to pick up, and, he would pick up the ball. And it was like a 6-pound ball. But he would pick up the ball and carry it all the way over to the little roller track thingy and set it on there and push it. He would do all the things. We just had to line up the track for him. So it was really fun. But, Rihanna and I suck. And there were a lot of gutter balls and a lot of, spares, or not a lot of spares, a lot of just open frames, a lot of just leaving pins there. And I have this amazing ability to throw and knock out all of the back pins without touching anything in the front. It's amazing. It's just some natural talent that I have. But the thing is, we're fine. We're thoroughly enjoying ourselves. We paid for like 2 games, and great. We're having a blast. Well, about halfway through our second game, a couple of guys pop up in the lanes next to us. It's like, okay, no big deal. There's somebody on one side, now there's somebody on the other side. Except these guys are quite jacked. Not like Arnold Schwarzenegger jacked, but these guys are in shape. And they showed up each with 2 bags, their own shoes. They each had their own balls. And let's just say they were good. These guys outscored our entire games inside of 3 frames each. They were just, but they were super cool. And that was the funny thing, is that for all of, we suck and they're sitting there proper form. If you watch the guys on like Pro Bowling TV, which I don't know why you would do that. We used to use that as a way to get the boys to take a nap. They're like, oh, here's something boring. Turns out they liked watching bowling. And so, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. But if you ever watch bowling on TV or watch pro bowlers at all, and you see that weird, arm out, leg out, weird friggin' bird pose that they do when they fucking bowl. These guys had that shit down, and they were just strike after strike after strike after you fucking suck, dude. We're way to crush our confidence. We were perfectly fine just being terrible until somebody really good popped up right next to us, and we're like, we suck so much more now. But they were really nice guys, and like when Bug or Sam would go, they would wait. They weren't being douchebags about it and like trying to like, oh man, this fucking baby's next to us. No, they're actually very, and they would hit whatever they would get. They would cheer for the boys. They would clap for the little boys, and watching me, and like I would, because I laugh about how the hell do I miss everything directly in the front, but. There was one point where I had 3 pins. I think it was actually my last frame. And I had 3 pins. And I nailed it dead on, hit the center pin, and only knocked down the center pin, did not touch the other 2. And one of the guys looked at me and we're both just like, how the hell did that happen? I hit it dead on and it didn't hit the other 2 pins. He was like, man, that's a skill shot right there. That's skill. That's a trick. So they were being really cool and really nice. And when we left, because we weren't there much longer after they showed up, that they waved, the boys were waving at them and they waved to the boys and bye and blah, blah, went on the game. So that was fun. But man, what a way I think our total for 2 games, the highest we got was like 160 something total between the 2 games. Yeah, we're bad. I think I came in second to last, and that's with, 4 kids who can't actually bowl, 2 of which had to use a little guard thingy, and yeah, I suck. I'm terrible at bowling. I really am. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that was something where, had I not had the pre-recorded show last week, that's what I would have been talking about. I couldn't not share that because it was just such a fun thing that happened. And there was a bunch of other shit that happened that week, but at this point I forgot it. So I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back with a news break that can only be described, well, you saw the title. What the fuck, China?
I'm Nick.
And I'm Justin, and we can't believe it's already time for the 2019 live stream for The Cure.
Thanks to our amazing peers, listeners, and supporters, last year we crushed our goal of $5,000 for the Cancer Research Institute.
The Cancer Research Institute is funding research into immunotherapy to create a future immune to all forms of cancer. Every single cent we raise goes to them.
And they're also rated over 92% on charitynavigator.org.
This year, we're aiming our sights even higher with our most ambitious event to date.
Join us May 17th through the 19th on twitch.tv/epicfilmguys for 40 hours of live content from us and other amazing shows who will join us to try to reach $7,500.
Please visit www.livestreamforthecure for more information or to find out how you can be a part of the event. Together, we can make a difference.
Why is Jamie Lannister such a compelling character?
What is the best time machine from a movie?
Why did Michael Scott need 3 vasectomies?
To find out the answer to all these questions and so much more, check out A Podcast About Something.
Each week on A Podcast About Something, we dive deep into whatever we find interesting.
From movies and TV to sports and paranormal, we explore it all.
Listen and subscribe to A Podcast About Something on your favorite podcast app.
You can also follow us on Twitter at APA Something or check out our website, apodcastaboutsomething.com. And always, stay classy.
Bullshit from the news.
Okay, so I didn't mean to do this, much like most things I do here. I just peruse the weird shit news to find stories to talk about. And it turns out, after going through, because a lot of it is like, I look for the headline. Hey, the headline sounds weird. okay, tag, get a bunch of shit together. And okay, these are the stories I'm going to talk about. And it turns out that all of the stories that I was going to talk about take place in China. And again, I don't do this on purpose. It just happens. So all I can say about the news this week is what the fuck, China? The first two stories are actually kind of related, but let's just get started. Man uses handwritten driver's license because he was too lazy to get a real one. Yeah. After getting pulled over for just a routine traffic stop, I guess it's just a case of in China, they can just stop you just to make sure, where are your papers? I don't know. I'm not in fucking China. But just a routine stop, guy gets pulled over, and the police just bust out laughing because, rewind, I guess in China, you are issued like a cover for your driver's license. It's not like in America where it's just a card. It fits inside it's the size of a credit card. There, it's almost like a passport the way this looks. You got all of your information and your photo and all the stuff, but it's got a designated cover. Well, this guy, he pulls out his official driver's license cover. When they open it up, they find a sheet of notebook paper with all of the pertinent information handwritten on it and a picture of him glued to the inside. And when the police, through their laughter, asked the guy, what the fuck? He basically says, I'm just too lazy to go down and take the test, and I don't want to spend the money for classes. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't want to spend the money, and it's just, I just don't want to go do it. Because that's what you sound like in China. I've read this a few times. Saying it out loud is funnier to me. The guy hand wrote his license. And apparently they posted up the picture on social media in China of this guy's license, and it just went nuts. It went viral in China. People commenting like, why didn't you hand draw the ID photo too? Wow. What's really funny is obviously this guy, too lazy to go get a driver's license. Well, he was also too lazy to get his motorcycle inspected, and it was way overdue. And if speaking in terms of, in the States, basically his tags were way expired, and so they impounded his bike. Like, you need to show up in court tomorrow. You need to go down and take your driver's test and get your bike inspected and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just so many things. Like, dude, the fuck? Just get the driver's license. I mean, I don't know how hard it is to get a driver's license in China, but it's not that difficult of a task in America. Moving right along. Also, another case of not getting your driver's license, or more in this case, one person getting their driver's license. Sorry, these are just, whenever I get these stories out of China, they're so much more extreme and weird than like Florida. Because everybody knows Florida is just fucking Florida. Sorry, Paul. But the stories out of China just, I don't know. Identical twins share a driver's license for 20 years and only got caught because one of them started losing his hair. Pair of identical twins in China, because this theme, went for 20 years sharing a driver's license. Basically, one of them got his license suspended for drunk driving, so they suspend his license. Well, he's like, oh, well, whatever. We'll just both... I'm assuming these guys live together the way the story kind of reads out. But it's like, I'll just use his license. We'll just share a license. No big deal. Until that brother's license gets suspended for drunk driving. Like, oh, well, my time's up. I can go get my license. So I'll just get my license and we'll share my license. And they basically keep going back and forth like this for 20 years. They only got caught because one of the brothers, rather than both of them, started going bald. So on a most recent traffic stop, one of them gets pulled over. I don't know which one at this point, but he gets pulled over. The police start getting suspicious for some reason. I don't know why, but they see in their records that not only does this guy have a twin brother, which I have to assume they put this in some notes or something, but in their record it shows he has a twin. Here's a picture of the twin, and oh, they're not identical anymore. One of them's going bald. So they go back to him. He's sitting there in a hat. They say, take off your hat, because they're basically going to compare, okay, what driver's license are you showing me? Do you have hair or not, according to the driver's license? And whoops, wrong brother. And so they bust him on suspicion of, not suspicion, they bust him on driving with a suspended license. And then they bust his brother for, like, I forget how they word it, but basically because they were sharing a driver's license. It was kind of, providing him false documents kind of thing. But yeah, seriously, bravo to them for sharing a driver's license for literally 20 years, but it's kind of fucked up. Obviously, you guys have a drinking problem because they keep getting all these damn drunk driving suspensions and shit. But seriously, I mean, it's a crazy fucking thing. How about when one of you starts losing your hair to keep up the ruse, shave your heads? There's lots of bald Chinese guys. Come on. I don't know what the style is in China. Again, I'm not in China. I'm in Phoenix. But still, it's just really funny. But I guess when they confront him and it's like, this isn't you. This is your brother's driver's license. Where's your driver's license? Blah, blah, blah. He actually came clean and said, I've been sharing a driver's license with my brother for 20 years. It's like, we're twins, so nobody ever guessed. And it's just fucking funny. They got fined 2,000 yen. Can't pronounce it. It's Chinese. I know in Japanese it's yen, but it's Y-E-N. In Chinese, it's Y-U-A-N. I don't know. Yuan. I don't know. $2,000. They got charged $2,000, and they are now under investigation. What the fuck? Is it difficult to get a driver's license, or how strict are the punishments for like driving offenses in China? Seriously. Because, I mean, we got one guy who makes a paper license rather than going and taking a driving test, and two brothers who shared a license for 20 years. Yeah. And I'm sure there are people here who do that shit. I'm totally willing to believe there are people in the States who share a license with their twin, and they'll pull I lost my driver's license, I need a new one, and they'll just like print up and get a duplicate license, and now they have a spare license to give their twin. That might actually work. But yeah, just the fuck. Oh man, it's just great. But not about driving. This one, oh man, this one takes the cake. Or should I say, smoothie. It's time for the Jackass of the Week. Woman nearly dies because she injected fruit smoothies into her veins. Yeah. A woman from the Hunan province in South China mixed up a smoothie of 20 different fruits and then put that into a drip in her arm. Yeah. 51-year-old woman. So she should fucking know better. Because, smoothies and fresh fruits and vegetables are nutritious. It's good for you. You want to get all your fruits and vegetables, and getting 20 different types of fruits and vegetables would be great for you. And what's the most efficient way to absorb nutrition? Intravenously. That's not how smoothies work. Yeah. If you've got a nutrient drip in the hospital, yeah, that works. That's just like chemicals in salt water so your body can absorb it. It's not a smoothie. Apparently this woman was really into the unconventional health treatments. And so, yeah, she just decided, hey, I'm going to inject fucking smoothie into my arm and absorb all of the nutrients that way, straight into my bloodstream, man. Again, because that's what people sound like in China, man. But, and at first she's like, no big deal. Then she started getting itchy. Then she got a fever. And yeah. And next thing you know, her husband's having to take her to the hospital. Oh my God. All right, here we go. She was admitted with severe damage to her liver, kidneys, and heart, and an infection, and almost died from multiple organ failure and sepsis. Oh, man. They had to give her antibiotics and anti-clotting medicine and stick her on dialysis to circulate and get all the shit out of her system. The fuck? What? It's just... Oh my God. Read a fucking book. This woman is 51 years old. She should know better. Yeah, apparently she's a hippie into alternative shit. Drink the smoothie. If she's living on smoothies, fine. That's unconventional medicine. Putting a smoothie, a 20-fruit smoothie, into a fucking drip, into your arm. Just do heroin. No, don't do heroin. You shouldn't do heroin. Drugs are bad, McClay. The fuck? Oh my God. Let's rewind her conditions. Kidney, liver, and heart damage, plus an infection. Antibiotics, anti-clotting agents, dialysis. Almost had multiple organ failure. Oh my God. This woman needs to be put in a home. And I realize in China that is severely frowned upon. I don't even think they have nursing homes. This woman needs to be in a nursing home. Somewhere where somebody can take care of her and make sure she's not doing stupid shit. Because once you get to the point where you're mainlining a smoothie, you need help. You need assistance to get through your day. Because you mildly insane, and at the very least, you're a dumbass. Or should I say, you're a jackass. Alright, well, I'm not doing a recommended listening this week, in part because I've just been so busy, but also because I already gave you an episode from another podcast that you should check out. So, I'm not doing a full review, but you should go back, if you didn't listen to it, check out A Podcast About Something at apodcastaboutSomething.com. And thank you very much to Moxie from Your Brain on Facts, which will be coming up in a near future feature. Try and say that again. I'm not gonna. But I've got a few coming up that I'm working on. I'm working on the guest for this month, which this one's going to take... My guest for this month may change just based on timing and scheduling, because they're kind of like... It's a work schedule time zone issue, so things get complicated. So I will keep you updated, or not, because I don't tell you who's coming up unless you're on the Patreon. But thank you again to all of my Patreon supporters, Heather from Sunshine and Power Cuts, Chris from Play Comics, and of course last month's guests, Lisa and Sam from I Shake My Head, and to you, dear listener. You can, of course, support the show by going to patreon.com/odddadout or go to odddadoutpodcast.com, click on the shop tab there, and buy yourself a shirt or a coffee mug, or I've just added some new stuff to the shop. If you follow me on the social medias at odddadout. I just put together, I've got skateboard decks now, backpacks, duffel bags. They're really cool. I want to get me one of those coming up soon because shameless plug, I don't know. But check them all out. There's new stuff in the shop. Again, there's stickers there that you can only buy in the shop. I can't even give these to you. So check it out. Again, be awesome. Support the show if you want. Tell your friends about it because that is the best thing you could possibly do to help the show. But until next week, I am Adam Higgins, the Odd Dad, out. Thank you and good night.